Hello, everybody. So I'm so excited to be doing this because I've never like individually or just tried to have like a football stream before, but I've always had a lot of thoughts and opinions, and I was wanting to share it with you guys. So this has been, a little bit of trial and error and trying to get into this. I've been on the football terrace a couple of times, and then I thought, okay, why not like do this by myself, have my own opinions, and then go there and share what I think. But I have a lot to say to to Arsenal fans, to people, especially pundits who have been like crashing on us, even though we've had good performances. See, the thing is, football, like any other sport, is about like results, especially in the business end. It's about results. It's about making enough money to like keep your team afloat and like keep them in the Premier League and in the Champions League. But the core of any sport is performance and improvements, and that's something that we've been doing. Uh, to be honest with you, even I did not like see where this project was going, especially when the American owners came over. I did not see where they're going and what they're going to do with it. And it was kind of crazy that we were buying just any player that was on the market. It felt like they were looking at somebody like wanting something. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Man, I just slipped my mind. The ones with the Mini Coopers, Italian Job. There was this like there were four of them, and there was this one guy who like stole all their dreams. Like if they wanted to buy something because he had all the money, he would buy that. It felt like that. It felt like an Italian Job, and and then finally today, when you see the results and when you see the performances and when you see the team starting to gel, you kind of like you are happy, and I start to believe in this manager, and I really think that now it's an Italian job because of an Italian manager. And we've seen that Chelsea has had so much success with Italian managers before, so I am very very happy with what Maresca is doing. And yeah, I mean, this is like going to be football reaction, so we are going to flip flop a little bit on our opinions based on the emotion and whatever. Now, I was not going to do this by myself because I know that you're going to get bored of just listening to me talk. So I wanted to have this conversation with somebody that has a lot of ball knowledge, but also like speaks really with his heart. So I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be conversational, and I wanted it to be a little bit challenging to like basically my views, and like possibly have opposing views, or maybe like reiterate or like cement something that I'm saying. So I thought that it would be nice to have somebody that I've had a bit of a rapport with before. So without any further delays, let's welcome Parag on stage.
Let's go. After 2, 3 years, just building on to what you said, we got an opportunity to look our Arsenal City fans in the eye and say that, hey, we are the Club World Cup champions, and we can sing, never say that, you never say that, champions of the world,
The
you never
world,
say
you'll
that.
never say that. Oh man, that is so like that's music to my ears, because like these guys have
Absolutely.
been like everywhere, bro. Like in my DMs, like on like groups, they constantly are, they were bantering us. The sad thing for Arsenal, right? They finished thrice this yeah, two time I sorry, on second place they finished thrice right now.
Yeah.
They had the opportunity to win, but like they've had their season or their era to like be champions and I think they've already come back into their banter era, because I think a lot of people believe that because they signed Jokeres that this is their season. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I'm just saying that the teams around them strengthened equally, and even I could say they've done a better job. If Liverpool signed Isaac, it's going to be like a clean sweep. It's going to be like a challenge for the likes of Arsenal, City, and Chelsea, to be honest with you. But hey,
Yeah.
we're here, we're Chelsea, we're kind of
Yeah.
delusional, and
Yeah,
we are
absolutely.
there
And I
to.
think this is the time to actually bask in the glory of the past few months. Just building on to what you said, it's even more poetic because Arsenal got knocked out by PSG in the Champions League. They got absolutely wrecked 3-0. And then we ended up defeating them 3-0 in the finals of the Club World Cup, which nobody saw coming. So I think before the real season hits us hard, the first couple of weeks, maybe you can still bask in the glory and we can sort of just display the new logo on a
Yeah, no,
jersey,
but
right?
for sure. Like the thing is, no, like this. So what I will fully accept is that if the narrative was okay, the Club World Cup is not a serious tournament. So in the beginning, just because of how it was organized, there were criticisms about how it was organized. Okay, they'd say okay, there was not enough people in the
Hmm.
stadium. the days that they had the matches, all of that, the weather, the pitch, even the teams that were playing were sort of like complaining about. So all that I get, okay. But when every team played it, every game, you saw that there were real emotions. There were players playing for that. They wanted it, right? So when we finally won it, then it became, oh, it's a not so serious tournament. It's a preseason cup, bro. Like literally, Mikel Arteta was flexing that he won the. He didn't even say Community Shield. He said Charity
Yeah,
Shield. He
charity
won the
shield.
Charity Shield. So when you have something that says charity in your cup, then you already know that it's not a serious thing. But this Club
Yeah,
World Cup also, from a business standpoint, it made us money, which
it made us
means
a lot of money, boss.
if people hate us spending already, we will continue spending. And then Arsenal, as much as they hate us, they go and help us by signing Madueke for 50 million. I really love. Like that was poetic. Again, see, I don't hate Madueke, okay? I think that there was parts of his game which he had to improve for sure. Like this guy was a little bit selfish, he was a little bit egoistic, which is okay for a young player. He needs that, he needs to build that, all of that. I just think that because him and Palmer had a really good chemistry in the beginning. I was really enjoying that because they
Yeah.
had this sort of chemistry.
He scored a
Palmer had
hat
it.
trick in the second game week last year, and he seemed unstoppable at that point in time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So they had this thing, but then you could see that like Palmer stopped trusting these guys. Like Palmer is a
Hmm.
guy. He's got a lot of like he might seem like a very dull guy. Like conversationally, he doesn't like to like talk too much and all of that. But with the ball at his feet, he's really got this like this vision that not many people have, and he's really for me in that sense he's generational. Okay, he's world class. So in
Hmm.
that sense, see that he doesn't really trust anybody with the ball until I saw the preseason and I was like, he's giving Esteva the so
It seems
that
like he
said,
was just waiting for the right number nine to walk in and make those runs. And
yeah,
also, I mean, to my surprise, I've been following Pedro's journey for the last 3, 4 seasons, and he
hmm,
has never looked as sharp. Of course, he's been playing for Brighton, the supply hasn't been the same for him, but he has been so efficient in the 3, 4 games that he has played. He has converted almost 100% of the half chances that he has created, and he's solely responsible for all those goals that he scored. So, and
exactly.
plus to add to that firepower, we have Delap as well. And honestly, he also looks like that the better, bigger, stronger version of Oliver Giroud. Like he can hold up
Yeah,
play, he has that aerial threat, he has good shots in him, he can shoot from his left, right, both. So that is also great. Plus, to add to that, we still have Jackson. I would give him 6 more months if you ask me, because I still think he plays and fights for the batch. Not as efficient, but somewhere he is lacking confidence as well. Like if given an opportunity, I want to see 6 more months of him with us.
I agree with you. So in this thing, I really think that Jackson, if we sell him, if we do that, he needs to leave the Premier League. He can't be because it will come back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hurt us.
He
Okay,
will come
like
back
I
to Hamilton.
I have
He can
like
easily be a Isak replacement at Newcastle. I can totally see that happening, and
yeah,
he's scoring points for good.
for me, I have like trauma from De Bruyne and from Salah. Okay, I still have that drama. So the thing is, for me, Jackson has this ability. So again, I'm not comparing them and saying that they will be equally like at that level.
Hmm.
I'm saying that Jackson has the ability to think because he's the very like team player. He just lacks a little bit of IQ in the box. Okay, like so that for me that's the thing. He's always touching the ball a little too much. He's always doing a little bit extra, but he always plays for the team. You can see that he's always there for the team. He has the
Yeah,
energy. So in that sense, I love him, and I don't want to see him go. I prefer even if he goes on loan. He does well
yeah.
somewhere, and then we can have him
Oh, God.
because we are playing all the tournaments right now, or
Yeah,
all the
exactly. We
tournaments.
need depth. We need depth, and to be honest, there are for certain areas where we do lack a little bit of depth. The left wing position, we have Gittins right now, but we don't have a backup for him per se, unless Maresca decides to play Cucurella up top, which will not happen, of course.
No,
Uh,
because that's for me. That is also wild, bro. When Cucurella was scoring goals, I was like, man, what is going on? How is Cucurella in the box heading
he
goals?
was inside the box perpetually, even against PSG in the Club World Cup. Man, what the hell are you doing there? Just cover up for a
Yeah,
left back. But yeah,
it's
he
crazy,
just tends
crazy.
to
Yeah. No,
pop
but
up
I,
out of
I wanted
nowhere
to
and
ask
do
you.
things.
I wanted to ask you because you mentioned him. What are your thoughts on Gittins? Like, what do you think of Gittins so far?
So I have heard a lot about him. Like I didn't used to follow him in his Dortmund days. He's just 21. I did catch glimpses of him in the preseason. Of course, he was not a part of the Club World Cup, which I watched very closely. We had a relatively short preseason. Yeah, I mean, he looks exciting on the ball, but not much from him yet. Of course, the spotlight was on Pedro and Estevao and all the other exciting signings. Damn, there's so many signings to talk about. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of him yet. He looks decently good on the ball, but I mean, I'm still not sure if he's Premier League level yet. I mean, time will tell how good or bad he is.
Yeah.
Versus.
No, but whatever I've seen of him, I'm excited about the fact that he's direct. So, like, we lost Madueke on the right. This guy on the left, he's direct, similar to Madueke, how he was direct. But I think that he's got a higher ceiling, and I love how he's been. So again, to be honest with you, I never followed him, in Dortmund as well. But then once I knew that we signed, so this is what I normally do. Once I know that we are signing or interested in some player, that I'm going trying to watch not just highlights, because that's not going to like really
Yeah,
tell us.
that's very
I try to
deceiving, right?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, breakdowns on these guys' style of play, what they do, and I think Pythagoras in Boots. There's a channel. That guy, I
Mm.
love his breakdowns. He does like some really
Mm.
cool breakdowns about every player. So then I try and go and watch their style of play and what they do. So he's exciting. Somebody said, which kind of annoyed me. Somebody said that he's a like Sancho with more space or something. And I was like, no, like it doesn't seem like, because Sancho is a super technical player. I'll never talk trash about him. He scored a lot of like crucial goals for us. Am I
So
sad to see?
Sancho is directly coming from Dortmund, not taking a detour to Manchester United. So coming to us fit and healthy and, with
Yeah.
a clear
No, but
mind.
also for me, the thing is, Gittins is basically he just has to improve his shooting. Okay, and I
Hmm.
believe that under Maresca he will be able to do that. I think that other than that, he still has this, because his first entry, like the first time I saw him wearing a blue shirt and like enter the pitch, in less than a minute, he assisted Estevao and he almost scored. Okay, Estevao almost
Yeah,
scored, and I was
yeah,
like, oh, that's exciting to watch. So it's a lot of. I mean, I also got excited when Mikhailo Mudrik was on the pitch like this, like with his burst of pace.
yeah,
So I'm not
correct.
going to mess this guy up. Okay, I'm not going to like do that. I'm going to wait and see, because these guys are all young guys that have potential. Now we have to see if they have patience, if they have the temperament, because mentality for me
Yeah.
is the most important. With all of these guys, mentality is the most important. To say, hey, you're not getting time to play. How are you going to react or behave when you're on the bench? When you have to train, even though you know that you might not start, you might not like come off the bench. So this mentality is going to be really important to build this core and this depth that you're talking about.
I love what you're saying there because I remember in 2013, back in the day when we signed Eden Hazard, right? We also signed this German guy. His name was Marco Marin. I don't know if you remember him. He was nicknamed as the German Messi. And I remember following his journey very closely. And in the preseason, he was so much better than Hazard, okay? Like he was dribbling more, he had everything that you would expect out of a left winger. And I was like, boss, I think we overpaid for Hazard, and I don't know, this guy was not much in demand. I don't know how. But once the season kicked off and he was nowhere to be seen because he didn't have the right temperament, whereas Eden Hazard, he just effortlessly carried us for 7 years, right? So yeah, I mean, we'll have to just wait and watch and be patient with this guy. We paid a pretty decent amount for signing him up, and like I have that kind of trust and confidence in Maresca right now that I can just tell whatever he's doing, it's gonna be all right. Because after a very long time, you look at a Chelsea manager and like, okay, this guy seems settled. He knows what he's doing. He's got the backing of the board and of the fans, of course, and you just want to let him be. So pretty optimistic and confident about what he's doing with this young side, honestly.
No, but I wanted to like second you on that, to say first I wanted to raise my hand and say that, man, I was like trashing his mentality and his behavior, because initially when they came, like when Clearlake came, first of all, I didn't trust how they were buying. I was like, man, you're buying Koulibaly, you're buying Sterling, you're buying
Yeah,
Aubameyang. I don't know what are we going to do. Like it was a mess. Okay, I
it was a
felt like,
mess.
okay, these American boys came, they calling it soccer and not football, and they're like just like buying any and everybody. It felt like the Italian
Yeah,
job. Like I was saying that, because it really felt like, okay, they saw, oh, Liverpool's interested in this guy, buy that guy. We have the money. Oh, Man United wants this guy, buy this guy.
yeah,
So it really felt like that, and then I was like, man, what has happened to this club? I'm already miss Abramovich, right? Like we
yeah,
like
man.
that owner that was buying and like taking care of this club with passion, not because of money. He was not doing it as a business. And then they signed Potter, I was like, oh, okay, they're signing Potter. What is this direction? First of all, I was not okay when they sacked Tuchel. I was not okay with that. Okay, because I really
Absolutely.
thought that Tuchel had this. I just liked him, bro. Like I just liked this. He sort of like thing, but I think also he has a very harsh managing style. So you like players are will easily fall out of favor in
Yeah.
this guy. And there's even with management is like that, and he has this history. So, but it was poetic that Tuchel and Thiago Silva moved from PSG and they
Yes,
came to
yes,
Chelsea
yes.
and they won the Champions League just the season after. It was poetic. I love it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm going to like shout out Lampard there because he did the pre work
The
to for us to
pre-work
arrive. So, like and
set the
love Lampard.
foundation with Mount, Tammy, all these guys. And those guys
When
were going berserk, huh? I mean, Reece James on the right, Chilwell on the left. Of course, Marcus Alonso was also there. Then you have the
Arsenal
Mason
fans,
Mount. Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't even want to call out Kante because he single-handedly carried that team. But all the young guys, they were like just
no,
playing
but
for the
that
batch that
when
season.
I talk about
And
like
you have to, yeah, give
when we
credit to Lampard for that.
yeah, when we listen to like Arsenal fans and Spurs fans, and then most of these guys talking about, yeah, if we have one more signing, if we do this, if we buy one more like player, we'll be better. And even like us Chelsea fans have said it before. But I'm like, bro, Tuchel won the Champions League with Werner, Havertz, and Mount. like, like, what are you
Yeah, man.
saying? Like, what are you saying? Like, we
And
won
our run in the Champions League wasn't
against
easy,
Pep.
mind you. We defeated City, we defeated Madrid. It was a
Exactly.
difficult
Atletico, I
run
think Atletico Madrid was there, Madrid, and then City in the finals. Then
in the
this was
final.
Pep who had Ballon d'Or winner Rodri in the center. It's like,
Rodri, KDB, Foden in red hot form, Cancelo. It was mad.
so yeah, so the thing is when they signed all of these guys, so when they got rid of him, I was like annoyed. Then they got Potter, and then Potter was really not the guy because you could tell in his mentality. And then I didn't like that they signed Pochettino because he's a Spurs guy. It was difficult to accept that he's the thing, but he seemed like the guy who was doing a job. The only thing I will thank Pochettino for is that he played Palmer and he gave Palmer that free role, and he said in one of his post-match thing, he said, "Yeah, the plan is that we give Palmer the ball and he does whatever." Like
Rest
that seems
happens.
like the most, like that's the stupidest comment you can make. But I was happy that that's his mentality, that he gave Palmer that freedom, because that's why we
Yeah.
have that Palmer today, because he was playing with such freedom. And then so it gave me the, like, the glimpses of what Hazard would do. Like that's what managers would do.
Hmm.
They would be like, okay,
Hmm.
we can't figure out how to break this defense. Give Hazard the ball. All of you other guys defend. Let him do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then that's what he did. He destroyed defenses. So when we signed Maresca, I was not like so confident. Then I was like, okay, I like how straightforward this guy's talking. And but then he started to, like, when we were second on the table by Christmas, he started to talk about, hi, this team is not ready. They're still young. We won't compete for the title. So I started to get annoyed. But bro, what is this defeatist mentality? Like we are in second, talk like we are there. You're talking like we are like sixth or eighth, and then we dropped off. And then there was, so I was like, I started to blame him. I said, your energy is gone into the dressing room, and these guys are losing. But then my redemption arc for Maresca was the press conference, or the press conference before the
Yeah.
game, the pre-match press conference for the PSG ending, when the reporter said, "So, how would you prepare for them, or are your players ready for to suffer a long periods without the ball?" And he's like, "Say again." And then the guy repeated his question, and he said, "Who said?" Who said that we'll suffer, bro? Like that was the boss moment, because when you see
Yeah.
that clip in isolation, and then you watch that first half of Chelsea, you're like, bro, this guy, like, he understood the assignment and he
Yeah.
came there and he delivered. Like it
I've
was
never seen Chelsea play as gracefully and like play so dominant football at such a big stage ever in the past. Like
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about Champions League finals, the FA Cup finals over the years, everything. Like never dominate the game against such strong opposition with such panache and ease. It was
never.
beautiful to watch. Just to second you on what you said about Maresca, right? After a very long time, it seems like we've got a guy who's not very flamboyant. He's not a Pochettino or a very flamboyant guy. He will not talk too much, but this guy understands the game. He understands strategy. No wonder he was Pep's main guy for a very long time. And you can see that, he means business. He's not here to just make comments or do extravagant celebrations on the touchlines. Like, he has come with a plan. And this also reminds me, 2015-16, what Mourinho said, right? When we were easily the third best team in the country. And he said, right now we are little horse. Like next year, after we make those signings, we'll be the bigger horse. And then, of course, we signed Costa and Fabregas, and we ended up winning the league, right? So similar to what Mourinho said way back in 2015, Maresca is giving those similar traits, right? In December when he said, okay, fine, we're second, but let's not get too excited. We are nowhere in the title contention. But yeah, this year, let's not get too excited. But I still think we're a dark horse. We are poised to finish third or fourth. But I mean, hope is what keeps us alive.
No, no, but for sure. And the thing is, yeah, there are many things that. So one of the other things that Maresca said, like when he was like, initially when he came in, he said, "See, right now this is a young team, okay, but he said, I think he said in 5 6 years, we're building something that Chelsea
Hmm.
will be that team, that team like how people are talking about PSG now and Liverpool now. Chelsea will be that team, and the thing is, it's just inevitable, It's that if you have young players playing that long together, playing at that high level,
Yeah.
yes, some guys that will fall off, but because of the way our business model is, where we are all constantly like refilling that pot, that we're
Yeah.
constantly trying,
Yeah.
and with top talent, it's eventually that many can stick, and that's why people hate us, bro. And I fully like love the hate. I love the hate
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you look at this bunch, like you see them on the pitch, and you can tell that these guys, they have that mentality. They are playing to win. They're not playing to come with excuses that, hey, we lost because of whatever reason. But you remember that Cucurella match, right? Where he conceded two cheap goals, he slipped, and we won
Against
that
Tot-
game.
against
Correct.
Tottenham.
Against Tottenham, right? Last season, we end up winning 3-2. So they were there till the very end. Reece James, Caicedo, Enzo is a world champion himself. You look at Palmer, all these guys, even Neto, like he plays his heart out. So you look at
I love,
these guys and
I love Neto for that. I just want to stop you there just to talk
yeah,
about Neto. I love Neto because of the fact that I think that he's one of our underrated players, not in terms of skill and quality, but in terms of work rate and playing for the team.
absolutely.
Reece James has stayed fit this season because Neto is playing in front of him.
Yeah,
Bro, that brother, when he loses the ball, he's back. Even if we are in our own box, he's back there defending. Like I've seen him make some runs, and I'm like, man, this guy, like you want this kind of player. He's like
yeah.
Willian. We had Willian before, right?
Willian, we had
He's
Willian, we had Victor Moses. Like they'll run like
like those
horses,
kind
like
of
of
guys.
course.
And those guys are basically, sorry, 1 second.
Yeah,
Yeah, and those guys basically are the similar kind of guys in terms of this work rate, this like play for the team, and they both played also for that Italian manager. So I see a lot of parallels here with Conte and with what Maresca is doing. And yeah, that time we had this disgusting beast in front, Diego Costa, and I hope that Dilap can be like Dilap can be at least like 60-70% of what Diego Costa
yeah.
was. That guy rattled defenses. Like he just rattled them.
It's also exciting to see two Brazilians up top. I don't think we ever had that kind of combination where you have Estevao and you have João Pedro. You can see they have that certain flair about their game. They don't shy away from taking on defenders, and they're a bit track. Like you need those kind of forwards like who are creative, goal scorers of sorts. So yeah, I mean, extremely, extremely optimistic, but also mindful of the first game week, which is against Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace,
Yeah.
of course, FA Cup champions,
Yeah,
they
I
just
want, I
defeated.
want to talk. I want to talk about the so because basically I wanted to do this as a preview of the game. But before
Yeah.
I talk about that, I just want to talk about like what do you think is Chelsea's strengths this season?
So I think number one is that we have a pretty solid structure. Like we have a foundation ready. We have a defense. Of course, we see a lot of injuries in our team right now. Colville is out. We don't have Lavia in the midfield. He's perpetually gone, right? We don't have Badashir. We don't have Fofana. But I think the good part is our starting 11 is pretty sorted. Like you can look at the team squad and you can say that 7, 8 players are going to start for sure, which we haven't seen in a very long time. So, Reece James, Cucurella, Dawson. Shaloba, Caicedo, Enzo, Neto, all these guys, Palmer. So you know they are the foundation of the team. So I'm pretty happy and feeling confident about the fact that okay, our starting 7-8 is pretty sorted. Then of course you have depth in the other positions. You have Esteva, you have Delap, you still have Jackson, you have all these guys who can make difference. So I think squad depth is one thing I'm really happy and excited about. I think number two is of course I see our forwards this time are like very direct in their mentality. They're not like unnecessarily passing and holding up and passing back. All these guys you saw in the preseason also, right? The Delap, the Neto, Palmer, of course, we have seen it. These guys don't like to play a lot of side passes, back passes. They will just take on defenders. So, and of course, Estevao, like he has been the best player in the Brazilian leagues in the last 2 years. Maybe I'm like going too overboard, but he can totally be the next Neymar. I didn't say that, but like
The thing
that's
is,
what the Brazilian media calls him. Like,
I believe that in fact, they called him. I think his nickname there was Messinho because they're saying that
yeah,
he's like Messi and Ronaldinho. So, bro, I'm getting goosebumps talking about that guy. But I'm telling you, the thing is, how Chelsea signed this guy, I have no idea. I have no because like normally these boys go to Barcelona, Real Madrid, your PSGs, they go
yeah,
there. How
yeah.
Chelsea got him, I
Yeah,
have
doesn't
no idea.
speak English, and also he signed for Chelsea when we didn't have the Champions League spot. Like we were a mid, like I won't say a mid-table team, but last 2 seasons we have clearly struggled, and he agreed to sign for us. So that's a big victory, and of course
Still
now he's going to win the Champions League.
the thing. The thing is, he still doesn't speak English. Like Palmer was saying that,
Yeah,
like I if you talk to me, he doesn't understand. But for me, I don't care about that. They both look at each other. They know what they want to do, and that's amazing. And that's why I like football because it transcends languages, it transcends religions, it
that's really
transcends
bad.
all of these things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
So
that
that's why.
flair.
So you say so Estevao. So you're talking about like this as a player, and then what? Like, do you have another point of the strengths, or do we move on to? Because I want
I
to know
think
what you do.
one more thing I'm really excited for this season is how Robert Sanchez turns out to be on the goal because we've had mixed feelings about him being Chelsea's number one when we are like spoiled thanks to the great legacy of Chelsea goalkeepers we've had in the past, from Cudicini to Cech to Courtois for a brief period. We have always looked at Sanchez and like you get nervy, you're not sure unless you have a two-goal lead whether he like can just end up screwing up the team. So I was really happy to see him deliver in the Club World Cup in the preseason as well. He looked pretty confident. And in fact, Donnarumma was up for sale. And we decided not to go for him because Maresca clearly said that he is 100% confident about Robert Sanchez in the goal and his ball distribution ability. So that will be an interesting watch, honestly, this season on how he does that.
Okay, and so like I think that's a good transition to talk about what do you think or what are you concerned about in terms of the weaknesses because I think so for me Sanchez like I just want to say that Sanchez I've had this thing about like I don't think he's our keeper and if we want to win like consistently and win big because he cost us and I will still hold him hold this against him for that is that he cost us that we were winning comfortably when Mudryk scored against Arsenal we were winning comfortably, and then
Yeah.
he threw the ball straight to Declan Rice, and then we conceded two
That's a
goals, and
cheap goal, yeah.
it was cheap goals. So like I really, it's what you said. Like I'm really nervous when this guy's got his ball at his feet, and he's always trying. Even in the Club World Cup, we were winning 3-0, and then he did something at the 85th minute or something. He tried to
Yeah.
beat Dembele with his feet. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? Like, just relax. We're winning 3-0. Hold the ball, waste
Dembele is
time,
not the guy to mess with, yeah.
unnecessarily because that is not needed. If those guys put pressure and they score a brilliant goal, then we accept it. But why are you throwing away like a clean sheet? Because that's fully for you. That's your credit, right? So for me, these kind of things that he does is kind of like a little bit dodgy. But I also have to give him credit where credit is due. He made some amazing saves in that game that kept us in that like
Mm.
kept the clean sheet, and he's done some games that he's had better performances. Let's say so. I think for now, because it doesn't look like we're going to buy anyone, we sent
Yeah.
Mike Pendles, to Strasbourg, I think, and we got rid of Petrovic, which I really like Petrovic. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Georgi Petrovic, I liked him. He's gone to Bournemouth. Finally, we got rid of Kepa, and
Kepa, he was on some
really
300,000 pounds a week. It was killing me. Like, how are we
Yeah,
paying him so? Like,
yeah,
man.
but he's got Arsenal, so thanks again, Arsenal. Arsenal's our little brother, though, you know. They like
Yeah. They've always come to our rescue, whenever we have been struggling with our wage issues, like they would come to
yeah.
our rescue, buy off the Sterlings, the Jorginhos, the Kai Havertz, like
David Luiz, you have like Kai
David
Havertz.
Luiz back in there. There's so many guys. And they gave us their best. They gave us Ashley Cole back in the past. They gave us
Even
Fabregas, not
Giroud
directly, but
won
they gave
trophies
us
with us.
Giroud. Giroud gave us some priceless moments in the last few years, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
So
love
I
our
feel
London
really
rivals.
yeah. I don't think they should be our rivals. Arsenal should be our friends. They are the little brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They help us out a
Whenever
lot.
you're having a bad day, you look at the Arsenal logo and you feel like, okay, I'm glad I'm not an Arsenal fan. So
You know,
just thanks for being there. Thanks for existing.
exactly. Okay, so yeah, so I like if you have any points on what you think we should improve, you have concerns this season for us, and then we can get into the
I
predictions.
think the centre back position is a little bit of a scare because we just have Tosin and Chaluba at the moment, and we don't have backups because Colville, Fofana, Batshel, all these guys are already injured. So that's a definite worry for me. The second bit, again, I am not too sure about the left wing position where Gittins is going to play because again we don't have a lot of options in that position. I mean, we can just hope that he comes out good because not a lot of backup. Maybe we make Estevao play in the left wing position in case he gets injured or he doesn't um, turn out to be as effective. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Apart from that, I mean, once the season progresses, we'll see how are we doing the squad rotation because, of course, you can never be 100% sure about Reece James and his his body
Yeah.
has really broken a lot of Chelsea hearts in the last few years, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure. No,
it's
but
a wait and watch.
I am happy that we have Gusto because again in the
Yeah,
last
he's-
season Gusto has shown like you know that he has because he had these moments before as well and then he fell off towards the end of last season. But you can see that this guy is also passionate about like Chelsea and he's passionate about playing in this position. He's getting a
yeah.
chance to play in the French team, so I think that this all of these things together like it helps. But
Yeah,
it's a
I mean,
different thing.
just that the James, like, of course, Gusto is damn effective. You can't have any complaints against Gusto. He's like Aspilicueta, okay? Like, he doesn't put a foot wrong and he works really hard and everything. But Reece James has a certain flair about
Quality.
his game quality. Like, he will put in those crosses. He'll be so good on the ball, his touches, his physical ability, all of that. Like, on his day, he's arguably the best right back in the world, but I mean, we just hope that he plays at least 30-35 games across all competitions this year. If he
But
does that, yeah,
even Walker said this. Somebody asked him if it's not Kyle Walker, then who's the best right back that you like in the world? You think? And he said Reece James. And he said if I have to build a perfect right back because and that's my let's say gripe with Maresca is that even in this preseason what he was doing is every time he played Gusto he was playing Dilap and every time he played Reece James he was playing Pedro Neto. Sorry,
yeah,
João Pedro. He was playing João
yeah,
Pedro. So I was like, bro, play Reece James and play Dilap because Reece
yeah,
James has the ability to put in those crosses, and Dilap
yeah.
is like he can head the ball. But then we'll
Hmm.
see, like when they mix and match, and this is the luxury he has today, Maresca. He has the luxury of like mixing these guys up because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
they'll be able to like try different things, and that's what I've
But
been
also, it's,
most
I mean, really challenging because all these guys are damn hungry and they don't want to warm the bench. Like, Delap hasn't come here to play 20 minutes week in, week out, right? He wants more minutes. So that will be interesting on how he sort of shuffles his forwards, especially because a lot of guys we have right now
No,
in
but I
that
would have
position.
been concerned for this last season because nobody, like, what do you say, like the Conference League is not the most prestigious league. But now, like, there's this really good argument to say that, hey, if you don't play in the Premier League, you will play Champions League. And for some
Yeah,
of these guys, that is a dream. And that's why they've signed for this club. So it's
that's right.
easier to sort of like, make that argument to say that, hey, don't worry if you don't play in the week. In the weekend, you can play during the week when we play Champions League. So I think
Yeah,
that
that's
would be
fair.
a good
Hmm.
balance. And for me, that's where I think people should be scared of Chelsea because when you play a team on Champions League week and then you're looking at this is a really cool team and this team could play against a Premier League side and it could be challenging, and then you come and it's a completely different 11 that's playing in the Premier League but is equally as good. I think that is something that we have the luxury of that most teams don't have, which
Most
I'm
teams
really
don't.
excited.
Yeah. I mean, real challenge will come in December when you have those like stuffy fixtures, 5 matches in 10 days of sorts, and you
Yeah,
have the Boxing Days. And last year also we were in the second position till December, and that's when we started tipping. So that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is going to be interesting to see. But of course, he's coming from Pep School of Ideology, so I think he knows squad rotation better than anyone out there.
Correct. And I think what I've been most impressed about Maresca is that we had this, and a lot of Leicester fans were saying this online, obviously, were saying that, hey, this guy is not a good signing for you because he's very stubborn in his way of playing. But that's not true. Like the games that I've seen him and the games that we've outsmarted opposition, he's really tweaked, not just during the game, he's had these plans specifically for these teams, and you can see the shapes and the position, because Palmer under Maresca has played in all three of the front positions.
Correct.
Let's say in the middle, in the left, and in the right. He's played, so which is like, for me, he has a plan for these guys.
He's been there for a year, and I still don't know exactly what formation is his preferred formation. Like the easy answer is that okay, 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot in Reece James and Cucurella, but that's really not the case. At times, you look at him field his team. He's like playing 2-4-3-1 of sorts, where you have like two side backs who are doing the running, and you have two center backs, and then two guys in the middle who are controlling the game. So it's very difficult to tell, but that's the beauty about Maresca, that he doesn't shy away from experimenting. And all these guys, like especially the side backs, they're relatively flexible. Like you could see James also playing alongside Caicedo in a few games, right? Because of course we know he's very creative and he is very good on the ball. He can create game from behind, and he doesn't really need to do the heavy lifting on the right wing, right? You have Gusto for that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure this preseason also something would have developed, and we'll see a completely new formation this season. Difficult to
For
tell
sure.
how it's going to be these guys.
For sure. And I think he's going to take it like game by game versus, because I think teams like Tottenham, teams like this new United, like nobody's talking so much about United, but they've made like some really good signings, I think, that could make an impact if they gel together. So I want to know like what again, I like where your face, I think that you don't agree with me, but that's okay, because I just think that like United have made some interesting signings, because again, it's like without having Champions League football in the position that they finished, I don't know how they got these guys to sign for them. You know what I mean? Because the same players were also being scouted and being sort of like coerced by these other clubs, but United got their signature. So which for me
But I
is
think
pretty.
United have always been able to attract top talent, of course, because they're United and they pay a pretty handsome wage to each and every player who signs for them. Honestly, with United, I think the only way is there's only improvement, right? I mean, you can't finish worse than 17th as Manchester United. So I totally see them finishing the top seven, but I'm still not too sure about Bumo, Cunha, Sesko, all these guys, because they have been signing players in the past, but they don't seem to perform. So there's something that's wrong with the system, right? I mean, no matter what you say, Mount was an integral part of the Chelsea side. He
Bro,
was
like
the center of
sad.
action that time. Yeah,
It was
but you
sad
look at it with
because
United and it's nowhere to be seen.
for me, Mount was my like Frank Lampard regen. Like I was like, bro, this guy is going to be that guy. Like he's come through the academy. He plays in that position. He's that midfielder that's carrying this team. And when he left, I really felt sad. I felt betrayed. Even when Havertz left, I felt sad because he was the guy who won us the Champions League. But then I was
It
like,
was worse like how he left. I was really sad because he made a lot of shitty ass comments on. Sorry for the flavorful language, but yeah, I mean, it still boils my blood on how he spoke about Chelsea, and he was being a brat because he could really well leave the club as a legend, scoring that Champions League final goal, but he chose to
he
like
chose
just have beef
violence.
with us. He chose violence. He wanted to have a beef with us. But Mason Mount, I mean, even I was surprised when he flopped big time for Man United. He might still just come back, but yeah, I mean, there's only one Frank Lampard.
Yeah, that is
That's
true, bro. There's only one, because the
only
discipline
one
and the
Frank
work
Lampard.
rate of this guy was crazy. And for me, he'll always be like, yeah, as a manager, like he did some things good for us. He's the guy who brought all these youngsters into the team, and
Yeah,
that
he was a
Cobham.
good guy who played for the batch, rising through the ranks. But yeah, I mean, uh, he still had a lot to learn of sorts. Like, he was like every manager would come join Chelsea. Mason Mount would be an instant favorite. But he was still not like world class. Like you look at Cole Palmer playing for Chelsea last 2.5 years. Like that's the kind of number tens you want in your team. You look at Enzo, you look at Caicedo. These guys are world class players. Like I don't think Mason Mount was ever there. Like he had his moments, he had that spark, but he was consistently never as good as these guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, but it's crazy, and like we're talking about a player like that, but he still has a Champions League trophy, and like none of Arsenal guys do.
None of the Arsenal guys do, and let it be that way.
Yeah, no, but okay, so like finally I just want to like ask you, because the main thing that we like came onto this show is to what do you think is going to be like, you know, a setup for Crystal Palace, and what do you expect, because you also saw what Palace did to Liverpool. I know again it's the Community Shield, but you can tell a lot about, you know, the team, the setup, the players, because these guys, that's their kickoff, or that's their, you know, like
Yeah.
springboard in the season. So
See, the good part is that there is a certain degree of unrest in this Crystal Palace side, I feel, because Eze wants to leave, Mateta wants to leave. I mean, of course, we were also linked with Eze. I don't think we're going to go for him anymore. But he was still linked to City, and I think he's a world class player. Like, he can easily walk into any of the top four teams. Then they also have Mateta. He is linked to Newcastle in case Isak joins Liverpool, right? So there is a certain degree of unrest. They have injury issues as well. They have Nketiah, Dokore potentially out for this game. So that's good for us. But having said that, I think the top three, Mateta, Eze, and Saar, these three guys, like physically, they are really, they're like absolute beasts. They're like bulls, okay? So I'd be wary of that, especially with this new defensive partnership that we have for Chelsea, Tosin and Chalobah. I mean, they haven't played a lot together in that centre back role. So that will be interesting. I still think we should win comfortably. Quick trivia: last 15 games head to head, Chelsea hasn't lost to Crystal Palace. So we can
okay.
just hope that run continues. But last year we played them twice. Both the games it ended 1-1. So these guys are no pushovers by any means, and even we don't have like a squad that we are sure gonna play and score like 3-4 goals of sorts. So a 2-1 sort of victory, I'll be happy. Yeah, I mean, it's a new season. You just open with a blank slate and see where this goes.
Yeah, and interesting you talked about the partnership, the centre back partnership, because I think Maresca mentioned that Fofana will be ready for this game. So would you be
Oh,
happy if Fofana is there? Because I think his press conference should have happened now. I will check it after this
hmm.
stream. But yeah, do you think that Fofana being in there would like help us, or you think that he needs more time to like
I
get into
think
the
he can be rested out. I think Dawson and Shalaba are reliable guys. Like they have shown us in the past that they can be like extremely reliable. Of course, you have Caicedo to cover up for these guys as well. Uh, But I mean, see, one thing also to note here is that Crystal Palace, they have a winning momentum, right? They won the FA Cup and then they won the Community Shield against Liverpool. And Liverpool, everybody's calling them the team to beat this season. So they scored 2 goals past them. So they also are getting very high on confidence. So, I mean, can't really tell where this goes. Like, I'll just be happy with a 1 goal victory, honestly.
Okay, okay, that's fair enough. And yeah, so like I'll tell you what my prediction for the scoreline is. I'm going to guess it's 2-0. I would still believe, because except for the last game against, I think it was Milan, that we conceded that one goal, we've been keeping clean sheets. So
Yeah,
what I think that people are not talking about enough is what Maresca is doing at the back.
that's
He's
right.
really figured out how, even if we have Sanchez as a keeper, you know, we should just get a trophy
Yeah.
just for that, just to have Sanchez as a keeper and keep clean sheets. So I really think that we're going to keep a clean sheet. And what we have to be aware of is basically what you said, because these guys in transition are really good, because they're really pacey. And Mateta like does the hold up play really well for these guys. And
Hmm.
Eze, you can see that he has the burst of pace. So I'm going to say 2-0. I think that we will be what do you say? It's going to be a tough game. They're not going to like bend over, but we have not lost to them, like you said, in the last 15 games. So I believe that we can like start on a, you know, on the right foot, like on a good
Yeah,
way
man. I
to.
mean, that's very important. That will just set the tone for the season. We need to start off on a high. What are your predictions for the season?
And that's what I was going to ask you, because you
Okay.
said set the tone for the season. So since you asked me, I will tell you honestly what I believe. and we'll do like top six. You can do top seven if you believe. So basically, I think still, like, to be realistic, that Liverpool, because of their season last season, I think that they are like favorites, because they also reinforced, and this I've not seen from a team, or from a Liverpool team, in a long time, where they've won and then they've reinforced to, like, sort of retain the title. So I really think that it's good work, even though their first game, or their Community Shield game, was a bust. I think that their defense needs work, but they will manage in the long term. They will be able to take the season. This is a hot take, or it's with my blue tinted glasses. I think that we can finish second, bro. I really think that we can finish second,
That's a big,
because
big
I'll
statement.
tell you why. Then this I'm saying this we can finish second, even though I know that Pep has not gone 2 seasons in a row without winning a title. So that means Pep is going to challenge these teams. But I also think that there's a drop off point for everybody, like top athletes, top coaches, and I think that the last season was the beginning of the decline for Pep
Oh,
Guardiola. Because Mourinho had it right, like, and this is something that we have to accept. I'm not saying Pep is a bad manager. I just think that there's this eras that, like, sort of end, and there's new eras that come. And it's just a hot take. Like, people can call me out in the comments if they want later, but yeah, I think that we could finish second, and I think third will be City, because I think that they still have, like, they're building, and I think if they bring Rodrigo, they could do some madness in the league. And this is the most, even though we're making a prediction, this is the season that I think is the most unpredictable season that can happen, because couple of injuries, couple of bad referee decisions, and VAR, and it goes like all up into
yeah.
the fan. So fourth, I'm gonna give Arsene Wenger's favorite position to Arsenal. So so I'm just going to put them in fourth, and I think that Newcastle is strong enough to, but again, they're losing a lot of their players. So when you say fifth, sixth, and seventh, it's for me. It's I don't know how to arrange them, but it's Villa, Newcastle, and United. So I don't know how they will sort of, like, I don't know how they will sort of align up, but this is the thing. But my top four is this, and it's a hot take. It's again blue tinted glasses. We are a Chelsea channel, so we are going to, like, big up our team. So that's where I
Absolutely. So yeah, I
now
mean,
let's
we can be a
be
bit
realistic.
delusional. That's fine. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
we live
So,
in a
like,
world where we
about
share
the
our space with
realistic.
Arsenal fans, so it's fine. I mean, we are being pretty sensible in that sense. So I'll start from the seventh position. I think seventh, Manchester United. That's actually being very generous, considering the season they had. I think Bruno will be in his best form this season. And seventh with Bumo on top, Bumo and uh, will tango together. Sixth will be Nottingham Forest. I think they were exceptional last year. They have a solid defense. They had Chris Wood as a striker. I think they're going to finish in the top six again. Fifth would be Spurs for me. Weird that I'm putting Spurs in the fifth spot, but I was actually catching up on the PSG versus Spurs highlights as well day before yesterday, and Spurs looked really good. Like nobody's talking about Spurs under this new management, but I think they are gonna be a difficult team to break this year. Then fourth, I agree with you that spot is reserved for neighborhood brothers. Arsenal, I think they're gonna dip this season. They're gonna crumble a little bit. I love to see that. We are gonna finish third. That's my prediction. Um, I just think that we start off pretty strong. We have the momentum. Mid-season, sometime one or two injuries, and we might just lose touch. Second is Liverpool for me. I think Liverpool will miss Trent. They have a lot of new signings, and also I can also sort of sense that I mean, everybody says this, but I genuinely think that Salah is going to dip this season. Finally, this is going to be the year we see the downfall of Salah. That's my bold prediction and hot take. And I think City will end up winning. Pep doesn't go 2 seasons without winning. Last year, of course, he was without Rodri. I think he has sorted out all his problems. he'll be back with a bang and he's gonna win again this year. Unfortunately.
That is interesting. Well, that's interesting that you said that about like Salah, because even I just think Salah will dip, not just because of like his age and what, because I think these guys got like drive. He's like
Yeah.
Ronaldo and like let's say more Ronaldo than Messi, because I think that he has this thing of, he keeps himself fit. He's really
Yeah.
focused on his and all of the in that sense. But I think that because of the new setup of Liverpool, just because
Yeah.
of their front setup now, I think Wirtz will like eat up more of the, like, the ball. And then if you get Isaac, then it's going to be like,
Then it's
these
going to
guys.
be a completely different scene altogether. Then Salah might not even be the main man for long.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like sort of they are trying to like sort of phase him out into the thing. It could be. I
Correct.
mean, I
Correct.
don't know. Maybe 1 more year, maybe 2 more years, because I think he only signed a 2 year extension.
Exactly.
So
Yes,
so
yeah.
let's see. Like, but yeah, that's a bold prediction. I mean, obviously we'll revisit this. By the mid season. So in December we'll look at it.
Yeah.
We'll see how far off we are
We'll
from.
either be like really embarrassed to look at this and be like, oh, United are still 16th. How the hell did we think we'll finish the top 2?
No, but the thing is, what I feel embarrassed about is I didn't even bring Nottingham Forest and Spurs, because I saw Spurs. Okay, I saw Spurs play, and for a moment I was like, oh man, now people are really gonna troll us for winning this
Yeah,
club world.
exactly. They were winning 2-0 against PSG till 85th minute. And
Right,
they,
and I was
they,
like,
they did take better chances.
people are really gonna troll us, and then I was like, bro, but it's Spurs, bro. Like Spurs did the most Spursiest thing ever.
Was just
Like
things done. Yeah.
they fumbled not only the full time, they were
The
leading in penalty.
penalties also, they had the lead, right? Damn.
like that like that
And
is
also,
like
I just had some degree of confidence in Richarlison at number 9. You know that with that guy on top, they can't do much.
yeah. And he's the only Brazilian I feel like that about, you know what I mean, like, because all the other Brazilians have some flair. I feel like this guy is not genuinely Brazilian.
He's not genuinely Brazilian.
No, I really feel that,
Yes.
because every Brazilian guy has flair. Like if you see Pedro Neto how he plays, no, sorry, João Pedro how he plays, it's like even that first pass to thing, he flicked the ball to Palmer and Palmer missed it from the outside. Bro, that PSG game we could have been, if everything was on target, and like if Dilap took his two chances, we could have been 6 goals with Palmer's first miss, six,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
minimum 4 goals we could have been.
Who was against them that day?
Okay, because
Because
there
we
was
looked
so many.
hot that day. We were like unstoppable.
And I want to address what you said. You said that you've never seen, and I've never seen, because I watched us play against Barcelona where we won that game. It was Torres that scored that goal, but we didn't look dominating there. It's
Never,
after we
never,
lost
never.
the match,
Not
we had
even
to play.
close.
It was tactical, that game against Munich when we played them. In their stadium. Again, it was this resilience of these players saying that, hey, we are
Correct?
beaten, we have to fight. So it was that. Against City, it was the same thing. We were like taking all the beating, and then
Yeah.
we like countered them. But against PSG, those guys didn't have a shout. Like we told them to sit down and watch.
And the funny part is this year's PSG has looked unstoppable, like against Madrid, against Arsenal, against
Against
Bayern.
all
They
English teams, they
against
beat
Bayern.
all
They look
English teams that they
so
faced.
good. They've looked so good under this Louis Enrique bus, and we just made them look like idiots. Like we were so good that day, especially that first half performance was an unforgettable performance. Like was one for the folklore.
And yeah, exactly. And I really am happy that we won it the way we won it, just because it shuts everyone up saying that, hey, y'all got an easy run, y'all beat all these teams because they were Brazilian sides, because they were things. But bro, we beat those teams in close matches. We destroyed PSG. Like we destroyed them. So like for me, I was really really happy. But it was nice to talk ball with you, Parag. Like like
Yeah.
I was really like conscious about this. I was wondering how we are going to do this, but we got enough of our our opinions in. I don't know how often you're going to be available to do this, and how often you would like to come on to have a chat. But I
Only
would like
when
to do
Chelsea
this.
wins.
Yeah, okay. So
This
whenever
is
there's
good
a
for both our mental health.
yeah.
No, I'm
No,
kidding.
but yeah, no, but every time you want to be, so I will put it out there to say that, hey, you can come on. So whenever you're available, you come on.
None,
Otherwise,
none, none.
continue to like do this, because I think that it'll be a fun thing to do. I also wanted to have I was talking to my boss, and she was talking about, like, how it is nice as an adult to have an hobby, like to do something,
Yeah.
not to make money, but to do something just because it's fun to do. And
This
I want
is
to
this
do.
is like a release, man. I mean, we are hitting the 1 hour mark. It doesn't even feel like we've been talking for 60 odd minutes. So
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, again, I don't have any script here. I had some points that I want to talk to. We went a little bit like this and that,
yeah,
and I think we will start to get more. I think I would like to, maybe we'll invite some fans who are not Chelsea fans, so we can have like genuine banter. We can have the like. So if you have somebody that you think that can come on, like, obviously I'll
certainly.
be happy to have them on. But let's do this. Let's try this. I would
Let's
love
do
to
this,
like.
man. And good luck to us for what
Yeah.
lies ahead.
Good luck to us. We'll figure out all the, like, intricacies later. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Parag, for being here, and we will continue to report on Chelsea, like break down the games, and yeah, talk about what's good and what's not. Have a nice day, everyone. Ciao.